Hello, everyone. So I have another round of rapid fire reviews to do today. So, of course, I do these and I usually do four movies at a time when I get a little behind on my movie watching for the year. So, yes, I just very quickly talk about kind of the plot of the movies, what I thought about it, how I felt about it, and just give a really quick review score to let you know if I think it's worth checking out. I mostly do this for smaller to streaming movies or just theatrical releases that have come out quite a while ago that I just really missed out on. So today, again, I have four movies to do, which is Choose or Die, You Won't Be Alone, Bubble, and Memory. So I'm going to do them in the order that I just kind of went through there. So without further ado, let us get into it. So Choose or Die is a Netflix original movie that, of course, you will find on that streaming platform. And it is basically about a girl who finds an old video game it's called Choose or Die. It basically seems like a very old retro game that you just play as, but there is a great amount of prize money promised if you're able to get to the end of the game and beat it. And kind of the consequences as the young lady who finds out playing this game is that you have to make decisions in this game or else the game will just straight up kill you. And a lot of these decisions can inflict pain on other people, can inflict pain on you. It gets to the point where you have to kill people to advance through the game, and it is very, very, very messed up. I mean, there is a lure to it. It has the guy from who played Freddy Krueger talk to you at the beginning of the game, talking about all this prize money, but of course, it's just she's down on her luck. Her mother's in the hospital. She's running the problem paying her bill. She works a terrible night shift where her pay's not even really guaranteed. So she basically sees this as her only way to make money and get her family and her friends out of the situation that they're in. So yeah, the pacing of this movie is horrible. It's just not fun, man. I didn't really enjoy this film, and I feel like I'm even being generous with my score here, but cinematography isn't that great. I found a lot of the characters and the ending of this film just were not flushed out nearly well enough. It got very boring for what could have been a really cool concept. It was just extremely generic. The acting isn't all that great. Set design was extremely uninspired. There's just so much that I felt this movie was missing out on, and it is extremely predictable. So it's not really anything that I can recommend too much to anyone. I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 10. Again, you can find this one on Netflix, but I would recommend kind of skipping over this one. There's not really a whole lot to it. So the second film I have is You Won't Be Alone. This film is not going to be for everyone, and that is going to be a wide spectrum. So that's kind of my warning there. But this is about a young woman basically a baby, is sold off by her mother to a witch who wants to raise her in the ways of witchcraft. Yet she can tell that this baby has a connection to it. So yeah, she is taken from a very young age and raised to be a witch. And this movie is very visceral, very disturbing, very dark, and it is an extremely slow burn of a film. And it's like it takes a while for this film really to do anything interesting. It has great music, it is wonderfully cinematic, and just the cinematography is beautiful. The set design, or I shouldn't even say the set design, but the set locations that they go to are absolutely beautiful. They really go into culture of witches and humans and yeah, it's just extremely, extremely well shot, well filmed. And again, it's very much a slow burn, but when it works up to it, if you're able to keep focus and interest in it, which I do think is going to be very tough for a lot of people, it does have a very good payoff, and it is a bit of, again, just a very disturbing and grotesque story, but one that is actually very good, and I think true to what witchcraft really embodies in the people who are terrified of it and the people who practice it. And yeah, it's very tough to watch at scenes. It's very gory and brutal, and the things that people like the hexes that people put under are like, again, it's just very well acted, very disturbing in the how well it is acted. And yeah, I can't really recommend it to a whole ton of people, but if you're someone who likes the slow, very artistic movies, this is going to be up your alley. I do highly recommend watching it. I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10. I will say that it was not for me. I had a really tough time getting through it, but I can really appreciate what they did with this film, and there is a lot to really, again, just appreciate and like about it. It's just very tough to get through, and yeah, it's a tougher one to recommend just because of, again, just the style of it, the context of it. It can get brutal, but it is very well done. The third film I have here is Bubble. You can find this on Netflix, and it is a Netflix original anime movie. And this was a beautiful film. This it's basically a world that was bubbles basically just flood the world one day, but something goes terribly wrong. Bubbles pop, and it just floods cities in the world. And of course, Tokyo is where it's, or Japan is where the context of the movie takes place. So basically, people have to live almost as free runners in order to survive in this flooded world. And yeah, resources are scarce, but there is one job that allows people to make money and resources, food, things like that for their people if they're able to be good at this one sport that they have, which is basically essentially capture the flag. But each team starts off on, kind of the best way to describe it is, let's say like this is where the flag is. Each team will start at points around here, opposite sides or opposite corners, and have to work their way. And whoever gets the flag first wins prize money, resources, and whatnot for their people. And the parkour and the action scenes that come from this movie is absolutely incredible, and some of the best action really I've seen, mixed with an amazing soundtrack that just absolutely blasts and booms. It's so catchy. It means a lot to the characters in the movie too. The soundtrack and of course just the visuals really carry this movie, but it's very slick in its animation. It's beautiful, and it has a really good story too. Of course, the bubbles kind of manifest itself in the character you will see on the photo here, and it's a love story, a great story about humanity. It has really good characters, even the side characters. Even though you don't get to know a whole lot about them, you know who they are, and you come to learn to like them by the end of it. So, again, it's just a beautiful story, a really, really cute and just beautiful romance story that it has within it. Again, great action, and it is one of my favorite anime films that I've watched in a long, long while, and I highly recommend it. So I'm giving The Bubble an 8 out of 10 on Netflix. Highly recommend you add it to your list and watch it. It is just an absolute pleasure to watch it visually, and yeah, it's just a really good movie. And the last film I have is Liam Neeson's newest one. This is Memory, and there's not really a whole lot I can say about this film. He did a movie a little earlier this year that was just like this one, where I found it to be extremely predictable, bland, playing characters, and all the side characters aren't really all too interesting. Extremely predictable. I mean, the action in it is quick. I mean, it doesn't really play around with death that it would be in a situation with assassins, mobsters, things like that. But I just found it to be extremely generic. There was so much commentary that I found I missed out on, and it was just really noir and bland in a way that's just I know movies like this can be made so much better on today's scale and with today's technology. And yeah, I just feel like a lot of Liam Neeson's movies have been like that. So I'm gonna give this one a 4.5 out of 10. Just came out in theater, so you'll be able to check it there, and I have no doubts you'll be able to find it on DVD and streaming services anytime soon, probably in the next month or two, because yeah, I don't think it's gonna do all too well in terms of the box office, nor ratings wise. So again, I just found this one very boring. But if you've seen any of these movies, please let me know what you thought about them in the comments down below. And of course, if you liked this review, you can definitely check out everything I do on my channel through the playlist down below. And for convenience, I got links on the top here. Thank you for subscribing and clicking that bell so you know when I upload new videos. If you want to check out everything I do Twitch and live stream wise, there's a link to that in the description of this video, and of course my channel bio. And in both of those places, there's a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. So you definitely join that amazing community. I'll make it even more amazing than it is already. And yeah, just awesome, guys.